Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Shifts and Pucks news pack for Monday, March the 7th. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com to Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. We'll be also live today, Twitter.com Shifts and Pucks, as we are doing a Flames pregame show. Usually we focus on the Canucks on Monday, but on today is the pregame show for the Calgary Flames and the Edmonton Oilers. The Battle of Alberta will get started about that at 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain. Game starts 6:30 Pacific, 7:30 Mountain. So have a watch out for that as a huge game after a classic between the Calgary Flames and Colorado Avalanche. But the Flames in action today against the Edmonton Oilers. So we'll be previewing that for you, talking about that. But let's go through some lineup notes here. First, from the Flames perspective, we've got the Lions, according to Pat Steinberg, Lindholm, Gaudreau, and Tkachuk. Michael Backlund with Blake Coleman and Trevor Lewis. Adam Ruzicka draws back into the lineup with Andre Mangiapane and Tyler Toffoli. Sean Monahan with Milan Lucic and Dylan Dubé, which means no Brett Ritchie, no Brad Richardson tonight. Defense the same: Noah Hannafin, Rasmus Anderson, Oliver Shillington, Chris Tanev, Nikita Zadorov, and Eric Branson. Jacob Markstrom gets the call in goal tonight. For the Oilers, had an optional skate, but Mika Koskinen will be in goal. Kyler Yamamoto will play, and a game time decision will be Evan Bouchard. One of the other things that coming in here, of course, the Flames coming off that big overtime win over the Colorado Avalanche. That a lot of people said one of the best hockey games of the entire season between the Flames and the Avalanche on Saturday. And when Johnny Gaudreau scored in overtime, and the Flames came away with the victory, and the 4-3 overtime victory. The Flames come in with a record, of course, of in first place in the Pacific, 33-14-7, 73 points. They've are just continuing to roll here, 4 points ahead of the Los Angeles Kings, who are holding down second. In terms of the wild card position here, the Oilers, that's where they're battling right now. They coming off a 5-2 loss to the Edmonton Oilers, or the Montreal Canadiens. They are currently 2 points behind the Predators, and the Predators have one game in hand. They've lost two straight. Had a week where I think, very safe to say in Oilers land, that you wanted to come away with more than 3 out of 6 points. And that's what happened with Philadelphia, Chicago, and Montreal. They've got a tougher week as Washington's coming through and Tampa Bay is coming through on Saturday. So this is not going to be an easy week. By the way, one of the other things fascinating with the Oilers is their home record, 14-12. They're actually stronger on the road, 16-10-4. On home ice, 14-12. The Flames' home record, 15-4-5. One of the other things going on with the Oilers that I did want to touch on is Josh Archibald is skating with the team. He wasn't part of the team earlier in the year because of his vaccination status, but he took part in a full practice on Sunday. He was also diagnosed with heart condition myocarditis back in October. He had to quarantine, of course, before he joined the team. But it is a possibility that the Oilers could be playing Josh Archibald at some point here during the week, during some of these games. He will not play tonight, it looks like, but you could see Josh Archibald in there in the lineup as well. So again, reminder about that, the pregame show here. We have the pregame podcast, Calgary Flames, Edmonton Oilers, 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain. We return to the Canucks focus on Wednesday when we will also be doing a pregame podcast there, as well as the Montreal Canadiens come to town. Joshua Griffith from Point Shot Hockey will be joining us on our new partners, where you can also watch us on the Area 51 Sports Network. We'll have that for you there as well. We'll touch on the other games going on in the National Hockey League tonight. There are a grand total of 4 games. We've got the 4 other games going on. You got the Los Angeles Kings, who are in second place, taking on the Boston Bruins. The Kings coming off a 3-0 shutout over the Buffalo Sabres yesterday. They've won 2 in a row. Quietly, one of the hotter teams in the league, 7-3, and are holding down second place with 69 points in the Pacific Division. The Bruins had a really strong trip out west that has put them in the number 1 wild card position at 72 points. They're actually 3 points ahead of the Washington Capitals for that. The Florida Panthers are taking on the as aforementioned Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres, of course, this weekend will be in Hamilton to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Heritage Classic. As Sabres welcome back Sam Reinhart for that game. Of course, Reinhart was traded to Florida in the offseason. The Panthers are currently in second place in the Atlantic Division with a 37-13-5 record. They have won 2 in a row. The Sabres, of course, are a good chunk out of the playoffs at this point in time. The Toronto Maple Leafs, fresh off that 6-4 comeback win for the Canucks on Saturday, where again goaltending has become a question, and they will be taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. The Maple Leafs are coming in 35-16-4. They've lost 2 in a row. They are 5 points behind Florida. They were getting there in terms of passing Florida and Tampa Bay, but their struggles here have led to that. Columbus is the 10 points behind Washington. They've lost 2 in a row. So that's what's going on with them there. The other game is the Colorado Avalanche. After their classic game against the Calgary Flames, they take on the New York Islanders as the Avalanche still have 85 points. Lost 2 in a row. They lost a game last week also to Arizona. The Islanders, of course, they're another team that is significantly out of that Eastern Conference playoff race. So, and of course, Flames, Oilers round out the night here as well. 3 stars of the week in the National Hockey League. Jason Robertson had back-to-back hat tricks. He's the first star. He had 7 goals this week, and lifting the Stars back into position. They actually, with their win against Minnesota yesterday, tied the Minnesota for 3rd place. They're holding down that number 1 wild card spot. So Jason Robertson leading the way for number 1 star. Nick Schmaltz had 7 points in Arizona's 8-5 win over Ottawa. First 7-point performance in more than a decade. He had 8 points in 2 outings, but he's the 2nd star. He also matched the Coyotes/Jets. By the way, the Coyotes and the Jets do share records because the Coyotes and the Jets are similar franchises. So Nick Schmaltz, number 2 star. Igor Shesterkin, goaltender for the New York Rangers, stopped 106 of 111 shots, went 3-0 with a 1.67 goals against average. Is the 3rd star. Made 29 saves, 13 in the 3rd period as they beat the St. Louis Blues on 5-3, and also a 40-save performance against the Winnipeg Jets on March the 6th. That was yesterday. So Jason Robertson, number 1 star. Number 2 star, Nick Schmaltz. Igor Shesterkin. Let me say that his last name again. Igor Shesterkin, the number 3 star. Felt like I didn't say that right, so I wanted to make sure we get that all going on there. So, and just some of the other things going on here. Guys, we're also 2 weeks away from the trade deadline as well, but the Panthers' Spencer Knight is going to make a start tonight against the Buffalo Sabres. He's been out. He was recalled on AHL Sunday. Will start against the Sabres. But Spencer Knight starts tonight. Tyson Barrie will not be playing for the Oilers tonight against the Flames. He was placed on injury reserve with an upper body injury. Mike Smith's not expected to play. Stuart Skinner was called up. As mentioned, we talked about Josh Archibald practicing. Zach Kassian did as well. don't think will be playing tonight. He hasn't played since he broke his jaw February 9th. Jacob Verana could make his season debut tomorrow when the Red Wings take on the Arizona Coyotes. He injured his shoulder during training camp and had surgery. Verana was practicing a line with Pius Suter and Robbie Fadry on Monday. And Teddy Blueger could be a game-time decision for the Penguins as they take on the Florida Panthers. He's missed 16 games with a fractured jaw. He hasn't played since January 23rd, and he plans to play with a full face shield. He practiced as a fourth-line center with Zach Aston Reese and Brock McGinn. And Zach Bogosian could return to the lineup tomorrow when the Lightning take on the Winnipeg Jets. He's missed 15 games with a lower body injury. He hasn't played since January the 15th. WHL news as well, as we touch on that here. As we focus on Mondays, we focus on the players of the week in the WHL because we cover WHL for Area 51. Chad Nychuk of the Brandon Wheat Kings is the player of the week. He had 10 points, 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points for the Brandon Wheat Kings. Dylan Ertz of the Kamloops Blazers is the WHL goaltender of the week. He had 1.97 goals a game average in 3 games this week. Devin Prout is named the 9th head coach of the Swift Currents Broncos. He was hired today as they've removed the interim tag from Prout. He was hired by the Broncos on July 30th as an assistant coach. He was named interim head coach on October 14th. That was following the resignation of Dean Brockman, and that's some significant news going on there in the WHL. And finally, one other story to touch on is Jagr, or 2 other stories. I wanted to talk about Tyler Johnson as well, as the Tyler Johnson is thankful for Jack Eichel to help with his disc surgery. He had the artificial disc replacement surgery, which was similar to the disc replacement surgery that Jack Eichel had in November. Johnson says, I'm very thankful. We all did our due diligence. Jack Eichel helped out a lot doing a lot of that for me as well. And he said Chicago as a whole was unbelievable. And Johnson returned, of course, and for the Chicago's 4-3 overtime win against the Edmonton Oilers on Thursday. And one other thing, Alessia Cara will be performing at the Heritage Classic this weekend when, of course, the Maple Leafs take on the Sabres. But I wanted to touch on Jaromir Jagr, the 50-year-old Jaromir Jagr, third leading scorer in NHL history, he's moving a Czech team game to raise money for Ukraine refugees. He owns a team in the Czech Extralia. Will play the final regular season game to the O2 Arena in Prague on tomorrow. He posted on Facebook on Thursday that he wanted to move the games against Sparta from the team's home game to the larger O2 Arena, which can hold approximately 18,000. Kladno has been playing home games at the Rocknet Arena in Chomutov, Czech Republic, which has a capacity of 5,250. Jagr did ask for people to show their support for the move and received 1,000 responses on his post before announcing the Friday the change would take place. He wrote he's hoping to sell out the O2 Arena in order to benefit Ukrainians displaced by the Russians' invasion of the country. So, good job there for Jaromir Jagr as the world continues to support what's the Ukraine and what is going on there. So that is the news for today. That is a Monday, March the 7th, 2 weeks from the trade deadline. We'll keep you abreast of all trades and things that are going on there. But reminder, we have our pregame podcast, switching things up, Shining Flames ahead of the Battle of Alberta, 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain. And then Wednesday, we talk Canucks pregame podcast when Joshua Griffith of Point Shot Hockey joins us on the Area 51 Sports Network. So check that out. Same time, 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain. Follow us all individually on Twitter. Sean Beery, Canucks 03, Tyler, TNOBLE, Krisha Schneid's, SCHNAIDZ, Devin Gordhow 09. I am KEVOLE. Shifts and Pucks on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, as well. Subscribe to wherever you get your audio, live on Twitter as well. Remember to check out the Word of the Week as well, which will be on Mondays and Wednesdays podcast. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening, and we will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.